Hello and welcome back. Now that we've gone to a few wrecks and gathered a lot of resources, we're going to go ahead and do some base upgrades, do a bunch of building, go ahead and build some additional vehicles. So this is going to be a really constructive session. Um, First off, I need some water.
Vital signs stabilizing.
Sorry about that. I did go ahead and do some resourcing off screen because you need quite a bit of quartz and titanium for some of the stuff we're about to do. Uh, Shouldn't need help finding titanium by now. Remember, I said there's quite a bit out by LifePod 17 at that wreck, or it's all over the crash zone. There's also quite a bit wandering around in the kelp forest. If you want, you can use your scanner room to help you find it. It's pretty quick. And then quartz is also not too hard to find. There's generally quite a bit in the coral tubes, or you can just go out to the grassy plains, and it's literally just lying all over the floor in the grass. You just kind of have to keep an eye out for it. All right. So first off, let's build some base upgrades. Let's build a second large room. We're going to stack those, put a dome on that, and we're going to build our alien containment. Now, the alien containment takes quite a bit of glass. It takes 5 for each one, and I like to stack them because I want to say the base capacity for a single containment unit is 5. So if you want to have a more significant capacity, you just basically stack them. Plus, it looks better, I think. And so of course we're going to stack our large room too. So we need some plasteel ingots. We're actually going to need quite a few plasteel ingots for the stuff we're going to build today. So I'm going to go ahead and just assembly line those on the fabricators because it's faster that way. Anytime you can do this with fabrication, it's just more efficient. Especially with stuff that takes a little bit longer to craft, like plasteel ingots. It's definitely better to use 2 at once. This should be did I not? Didn't get quite enough lithium there. It's also why you want lots of lithium on hand, because it goes fast once you start crafting a bunch of plasteel. And you know what? I'm going to grab enough for another hatch. So another thing I did is I went ahead and added a couple of lockers here and kind of streamlined my inventory a little bit. Just had so many extra batteries that were taking up a ton of space in my main crafting locker over here. All right, so first we're going to build the other large room. We can build it above or below that one. Use the bracket keys over by O and P to rotate things. And interior, there we go. There we go. There's one.
Provide an ideal opportunity to study alien fauna up close. Select carefully which life forms you bring on board. They may also be studying you.
Don't craft all of your titanium into ingots because you do need it for building other stuff. I'm also going to build a water filtration unit in a minute here. This is a good place for it. But we're going to need a hatch to get into the alien containment. And we're going to go downstairs and build the other half. Now it's possible to build them offset when you're doing a large room like this. It's not a problem that you have with not a problem that you have with a multi-purpose room, because there's only one place to build in the center of a multi-purpose room. miscounted how many glass I needed. What? Oh, no I didn't. I miscounted how much titanium I needed. See? That's why it helps to always have a little extra resources on hand so you don't have to stop in the middle of a project. There we go. Let's see. Now it's too tall. You do have a planter in the middle of these things. Um, you can use it in the same way as you can an exterior planter. So we're going to go ahead and put some stuff in there. Now, as long as the tank is below its capacity, any eggs will hatch, and any creatures that have 2 or more individuals of the same species will breed and produce more. Um, Once your eggs hatch, as long as you have at least 2 of those individuals in capacity in your tank, they'll drop more eggs over time. You do want to look closely at any creatures you introduce to your containment. Make sure they don't show any signs of infection. If they have any of those green blobs on them, take them out immediately because they'll infect everything else in here. And you don't want that. I usually just put those in a bioreactor or cook them. Yeah, oh, one other thing. When you're dropping fish, anything that would theoretically be edible into your tank, make sure you use the right click to drop them. On more than one occasion, I've accidentally eaten a fish instead of dropping it in my containment unit, because when you're dropping eggs, you do use left click. Oh, no you don't. My bad. Anyway, try not to eat the fish that you mean to populate your tank with. Alright, now let's plant some stuff too. Now, we're going to need 3 of those deep shrooms to make hydrochloric acid so that we can make a polyaniline so that we can build the perimeter defense for our Seamoth. But the rest, we're going to plant out here and propagate. Be careful when you slash these with a knife. If you're too close, they will injure you. And don't plant them too close to actual base structures because they will damage the base, potentially. There we go. Also, going to also going to put some of these in the planter in the inside the alien containment.
Welcome aboard, Captain.
Any eggs you drop in here will remain anonymous until they have hatched, and then once you've hatched them, they'll forever after be labeled as the type of creature that you hatched. You can plant all kinds of decorative stuff in there. I happen to like creepvine because the fruit glows. And unlike the wild ones, any creepvine that you plant always bears fruit. Let's see, I think that's everything that I wanted to do with that. Let's also go ahead and put a glass dome on this, just because we can. And I'm going to need 1 more enameled glass. Now this is a little expensive to your base strength, so make sure that you have, forgot the titanium again. Make sure you have enough base strength before you go and build that, before you add that on. I think it's really nice aesthetically, but it definitely has a cost. All right. Next, let's build the water filter. Yeah. Oh, that's right. I keep forgetting you can't pin blueprints from inside your um, Hab Builder menu. There we go. So we're going to need some aerogel, which takes a gel sack and a ruby. Getting a touch low on rubies there. Have to pick some of those up on the next trip. Oh, rats. I ran out of titanium. Alright, well that's easy to fix. This stuff is all over the place. And I know I left a bunch of it right over here. That's that same little cranny where the guy stuffed our camera drones a little while ago. And I know for a fact I left a pile of it right here. Stalkers must have wandered off with all of it. There we go. Those are down in caves. And clearly not down in the cave that I chose to check. That's okay. Like I said, there's tons and tons of it out in the crash zone. Or over by Lifepod 17. I just don't really want to go that far right now, so I'm looking for something that's a little bit closer in. Yep, that's enough for now. Let's just craft this up real quick. All right. Where were we? All right. The water filter. You can walk away from the fabricator a little bit, but you don't want to take off before it's at least like 75% done, or you'll have to walk back and pick it up again. There we go. Now that thing, while it's operating, will kind of suck a lot of power, but once it fills up these 4 slots, it'll stop operating until you pick up the water and salt that it produces. So right now we've got the scanner and the water filter running. You can see that the power production from the solar panels and the thermal plant is just keeping up with that. Overnight, if both the scanner and the water filter are operating, you stand a chance of depleting your power reserves, but they should fill back up more or less in the morning. You can add some more solar panels or throw on a bioreactor or something like that too. Actually, there's room down there. We could go build another thermal plant if we really felt like it. Actually, maybe that's something I haven't tried before. Oh wait, I don't have the magnetite on hand. Oh yes, I do. well, what the heck? Let's go do that. Come try this with me. We'll see if it works. Exterior. Now it should even work off the same power transmitter, so we'll see there. I need another aerogel. See, those things grow pretty fast. Once you bring a few back, you never really need to go back down and gather more in the wild. Alright. Now let's see if I can build this one without getting severely damaged like I did the last time. A reinforced dive suit would make this a lot easier, but I don't have the materials for that on hand just yet. There's some stuff I have to go get, like in the blood cave trench. You need blood oil to make some of the fibers. Alright, let's time this. Come on, come on. Nope, it's not gonna let me do it. Darn. Let's try it one more time. Oh, that is because I grabbed the water filter. Genius. Can't build a water filter out here. Let's try again. Yep. Oh, we can. Taking some damage here. Did it. That should bump up our base power quite a bit. Should double the rate of production. And we should be pretty much set. I have to keep at least one spare in my inventory. Alright. Yeah, see, now we've got quite a bit of power, and it's keeping up with that pretty easily. Anyway. If you're going to harvest marble melons, make sure that you have at least 4 slots in your inventory before you slash this last one, or you'll waste the seeds. You want to make sure that you never eat your last marble melon, because then you don't get more. Okay, that's going to be a minute. Alright. Next, let's go ahead and make that perimeter defense. We just need a wiring kit. Nothing crazy. Well, wiring kit and the polyaniline, which we already made. Go. Perimeter defense is really cool. If you don't like killing small fish, try not to use it in the shallows. But pretty much anything in the game will flee if it takes damage from a perimeter defense. So we'll use these guys as an example. Just get close. You do have to push the hotkey, which in this case is 4, to activate it. You can see down there where I'm turning it on and off. The longer you charge it, the greater its range is. See, they got zapped just enough and they are running away. Safer than ramming them with the Seamoth. And, you know, a little bump won't kill them. That works for pretty much any other creature as well. Most of the predators in this game will just take off as soon as they take damage. Um, it doesn't work perfectly for crab squid because they have an EMP attack that disables your Seamoth, so you can't use your perimeter defense unless you get them before they get you. And it doesn't work for sea dragons because you can't take the Seamoth that deep. You won't have it when you're down there. Now, moving on. That's done. Pretty much built all the stuff on the base we wanted to build. Let's go build some. Let's go build some vehicles. We'll build the Cyclops and the Prawn now. That's the other thing we needed quite a bit of plasteel for. So let's see. Now we're going to need more enameled glass. That's what I had the 3 enameled glass in reserve for. Huh. You know what? I was going to put some windows in. Well, I can do that later. The large room starts to look really nice once you get some windows in, and like I said, there's lots of opportunity for reinforcement panels too there if your base strength is getting low. All right, focus. We're going to need lead. Not going to need very much of that. Need a lubricant. And advanced wiring kit. And 2 diamonds and 2 aerogels. Oh. Yeah, we're gonna have to go get more rubies before I can build the prawn. Alright, not a big deal. Let's go build the Cyclops. There it is. I'm like, where did I leave my mobile vehicle bay? That's another thing you might want to consider putting a beacon on if you deploy a mobile vehicle bay and early in the game and then leave it, unless you remember pretty much where it was. Because the surface is flat, though, you can usually just pop above the surface, and if you're anywhere close, you'll spot it.
Be advised, the Cyclops is designed to be operated by a 3-person crew. Only experienced helmspeople should attempt to pilot this vehicle solo.
Now, when you build the Cyclops, don't rush out here and get right under where it's building. It will kill you if it falls on you. Also, as a rule, you don't want to take the Cyclops into the shallows. You don't really want to be any closer to the shallows than this.
Engine powering up.
We'll spend more time with the Cyclops in the future. Oh, I'll leave the engine running because it'll drain the battery.
Powering down.
So just a quick look around. That's where you can customize the color and the name and everything. Toggle the interior lights, which is useful if you're going somewhere dark. Toggle the exterior lights, which helps avoid attracting predators. In particular, crab squids will fire off their EMP if you hit them with the lights. This is where you put your upgrade modules. Oh, that's right. We do have the engine efficiency module that we found in the Aurora. So let's get that. The only one of these modules that absolutely is required to finish the game is this one here. You need it to build part of the spaceship. So, in fact, I think we have everything we need for that. Nope, I need another polyaniline. But I can make that. The shield generator is nice, but it really sucks a lot of power, so you can't just run around with it on all the time. Alright. I think that's it for now. So yeah, we're making a lot of progress. We got our alien containment up and running. water filtration. Once that, like I said, once that water filtration is running, you really don't have to worry about getting water, especially if you're already topping up with marble melons when you come back to your base. You should keep the spare water and salt in one of these lockers close to the filtration machine. But yeah, that's it for now. I think next time we'll take a quick trip out to the Blood Kelp Trench and get some extra rubies and a couple other things I want to see out there. We have almost all the blueprints we need at this point. I think the one we are missing is for the prawn suit drill arm. And that's one of the 2 main upgrades you need that really make the prawn suit worthwhile. Oh, look at that. One of our eggs hatched. Alright, we'll take a couple more minutes here. Where's he at? That is the cuttlefish. Once you take him out of the containment, and release him into the wild, he becomes a sort of pet. He makes cute noises, you can interact with him. He does tricks. He does a slightly different animation each time you play with him. And he will follow you around until you tell him not to. If you tell him to stop following, he will just kind of hang out in the area where you told him to stop. He'll generally stay in this vicinity. He's not going to wander off too far. If he gets attacked, he'll run away. He has a ton of hit points, though, so you don't have to worry about him too much. There we go. So those other eggs should be hatching soon. That's the other thing I want to put in here is a brain coral. I only just found out the other day that you can actually propagate brain coral, and that'll produce bubbles so we can stay in here as long as we want to. You can drown in your own alien containment if you don't watch what you're doing. So, okay, looks like the oculus have bred a little bit. There's 4 of them in here now. Yeah, I'm gonna take out the extras. I don't need that many. Just leave 1 in here. They should stop breeding. There's the water. Okay, thanks for joining me, and the next episode should be somewhat shorter.